Lease agreement or residence contract lease agreement. I am going to send a lease agreement, a template to you to have some idea. There are so many things that are mentioned in the lease agreement. Make sure to read everything very carefully. And if you have any question, always go back to the landlord or to the agent to make it clear before signing. Because after you sign, you cannot say, I didn't know that, I am new or whatever. If there is something in a contract and you were supposed to read that, so make sure to read before sign anything. And make sure to clear it in case if you have question and it's not clear for you. And what is in the contract? Collecting and returning deposit, and how much deposit is needed, how much first and last the rent you have to pay, or something else. About the deposit, that's another thing you may see on the contract. Most of the time when you get a key, there is a deposit for the key. If the place is furnished, you may need to give a deposit for the furniture as well, and that is the amount which is going to be with the landlord until the end of the tenancy. And at the end of the tenancy, when everything is okay and back to the landlord, the money will be back to you. Changing locks, that's another thing. You may need to ask the landlord to change the locks if it's possible, if you feel it's not safe. It depends on the building. Some buildings have a policy which is more complicated, and it's not easy to change the lock. And permitting landlord to enter premises. It's another thing. In case if the landlord needs to come to your unit, they need to give a notice to you, and it's not like suddenly or without permission they enter and open the door. That's not allowed. They need to give a notice and then enter the units for whatever reason. It can be for maintenance, for repairing some parts, or sometimes especially at the end of the tenancy, when they want to rent to another person and when you decide to move out, they may need to have some showing and show the place to other people, and that is the time they need to enter, but it will be by notice for sure. And rent increase is another thing. Normally it's not allowed to have rent increase during the contract, but after the contract, the next year, if you continue with the same landlord, they may add very little amounts, and there is a standard amount. I'm not sure how much is that, but it's not that much that will be added to your current one. You have to talk, what your landlord will inform you about as well. We already talked about giving notice, and this notice is not just from tenant to landlord, it can be landlord to tenant as well. So if they have any plan to move back to their own place or whatever reason, they may give you some notice before end of the tenancy, and then you have to come to some agreement with each other to see how to manage it. Legal rights to live on permission. There are some legally binding documents. Careful. There are some legal matters. I'm going to share a website which is very informative, and it's good to check that website if you have any question. There are so many details there, especially it's the general website. It's not just tenant and landlord legal matters, and you can find anything else that's about all legal matters in Ontario. And I'm going to share that link as well, and probably I can show you, which is called Clio, and you can get lots of information there. Just find one here. Oops. This is a very informative website to about community legal education in Ontario. You can find answer to many questions, like legally related question here, and you can also find some brochures and flyers in different languages. For example, we're talking about housing laws. So here, if we go to the housing, you see there are like different brochures and information, and you can get all those details here. All about maintenance, repairs, moving out, giving notice, they're all here. And some of those are English, some of those are available for more than one languages, English, French, or even more other languages. Check. I'm sure you can find other languages as well. It depends on how general this information could be. Okay, let's go back to our slides.
Back in, back in.
Okay. Okay, moving. After you sign the agreement and you decided where to live, moving is another step. There are so many little things you need to consider before moving. First of all, you go and check the place. If there is any cleaning needed, it's better to go before it's better to clean up the place before taking your furniture. So make sure to bring some like basic stuff, like cleaning stuffs and first aid kits, and like some other arrangement with the moving company if you have big items to move, or if not, you probably can rent out a car. And if you're very new and you're going to just buy some basic items from furniture store like IKEA, you can probably ask a friend to help you, or rent a car and go by yourself and take the items to your place. But there is another thing that's to take in consideration, which is like that's about the apartment buildings or condominium, and the buildings which had elevators. So if you are moving to those apartments